I got a letter from the government the other day. I opened and read it. It said they were suckers. They wanted me for their army or whatever. Picture me giving a damn. I said never. Here's a land that never gave a damn about a brother like me and myself, because they never did. I wasn't with it, but just that very minute it occurred to me. The suckers.
Until the mid-20th century, Jews throughout the world remained an incredibly insular group. Intermarriage averaged just 0.5%, and that very insularity has made Jews the perfect specimens for genetic research.
And so Jews have been the focus of many studies.
But that begs the question, what is a Jew? Are Jews genetically pure, or are Jews converts from other faiths? Author John Entine investigated that very question in his book, Abraham's Children, Race, Identity, and the DNA of the Chosen People.
Many Jews for a long time had been told, based on books like Arthur Kessler's The 13th Tribe, that Jews, Ashkenazi Jews are really converts. That almost all Ashkenazi Jews were once part of a empire in what is now Russia called the Khazarian Empire that existed between the 7th and the 10th century.
But as genetic science has developed since Mr. Kessler wrote his book, the evidence points the other way, suggesting that Jews are Jews by DNA.
On the male line, about 75 to 80% of males do have Middle Eastern ancestry. On the female side, 50% of females do not have Middle Eastern ancestry. 50%.
Why do we find such a marked difference between male and female lines?
It looks like many Jewish males from Rome, from different parts of the world, came to settle in areas that were either pagan or Christian. They took on local wives.
But it gets even more interesting. You, or someone you know, may claim to be a Cohen, or Jewish priest by oral tradition. Jews who claim this distinction believe that they are direct descendants of Aaron, Moses' brother, who lived about 3 millennia ago. Well, if that's the case, then presumably geneticists could trace Aaron's male chromosome through male Kohanim, because, but for distinct mutations or markers, the male chromosome does not change through the generations. So what did the scientists find?
They found out that there was a set of 6 markers that trace back 3,300 years, give or take a few hundred years. They were flabbergasted. Here, for the first time, you had DNA reaffirming Jewish tradition. DNA was found in 70 to 80% of people who 3,300 years later claim that they are of Cohen ancestry.
And the research on the Kohanim produced even more staggering results.
Okay, notice how this book is called Abraham's Children and not Yacob's Children. Now, here is my first question. Can we really trust these scientists? And what in the hell are these markers? How many remember the deception of the 19th century? The early 19th century. You remember when they said that the blacks were no more than 3/5 human and that we were just jungle bunnies running up in the woods? Remember that deception that kept the slave trade going and going and going? Now, what about this John Entine's research? We have to ask the question, how do they know they are getting the DNA from Aaron unless they have DNA from Aaron? Did Aaron have his DNA stored in a dish some 3,300 years ago, just in case John Entine needed to prove so-called weak theory. He wanted to prove that the Hebrews of today are the Hebrews of yesterday. Okay, let's give this weak-ass research the benefit of the doubt. Let's say somehow they did preserve the DNA of Aaron. Let's say they found some hair that says this is Aaron's hair some 3,300 years ago. Does this prove that the Ashkenazi Jews are the priests of the Most High? Now, we have this 3,300-year-old DNA evidence that proves that it goes back to Aaron. But does it prove that this is not his brother's DNA? What do I mean? Are they ignorant of history? Or are they being deceptive? Do they not know that the DNA of Aaron and Esau can be the same? How do they know the difference between Aaron and Esau's DNA? Would not Jacob and Esau share the same DNA traits? Was not Abraham the father of Ishmael, Esau, and Yacob? Did not Herod usurp the priest line? Would not Edom be the only viable trace of DNA if there was a viable trace of DNA? You see, this research is so weak that it's pitiful. What's the next topic?